Hello.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Wulff Den Live, episode 184, the one where we try these fancy-looking Little Debbie cakes.
What is this?
I was in the supermarket doing my shopping, and I walked past the, where the Little Debbie cakes are, and I just see this very elegant box.
Okay.
And so I'm like, this looks really fancy for Little Debbie, who is traditionally the cheapest of the snack cakes behind Hostess and Drake's. So I had to get it and just see what makes this so classy looking.
Yeah, what the?
I think it might just be the script,
It is. It is.
but I gotta give it a
It looks
try.
like something that you see at like your grandma's house.
Yeah. So
Anyway, hello Slay Blaze. Hello Crunch Tover. Hello The Flying Scaramony. Hello Alex. Hello Tyler. Hello Eric. Hello Bukuzai. Hello everybody.
hello anyone and everyone who is here.
We got a lot to talk about because today Nintendo dropped
Yes.
Switch Mini news.
Yes.
We gotta hurry up with this.
All right,
'Cause
hold
a lot
on.
of people are gonna be coming here being like, "Where's the Switch Mini stuff?"
It's 2 for Pat.
Get me in here, Will.
All right, so you take one and I'll take one.
Get me in that.
Give me a second. Jesus Christ, here, take it.
Okay. Oh. It's just a zebra cake.
It is just a zebra cake.
Zebra cakes have vanilla cake, right?
Yes.
This is chocolate, but it doesn't taste like chocolate.
I think it's because it's got all the vanilla around it.
Yeah. Vanilla encrusted.
So
Oh.
I don't know. 3 out of 5, middle of the road.
Just get a zebra cake.
Yeah.
There's friggin' script garbage on here.
Yep. That's why you come to Wulff Den Live, so we can cut through the BS of grocery store snack cakes.
Oh, I gotta turn off the notifications. Boop.
Yeah, do that.
But anyway, also special thanks to Ryan Rumsey, Bat Mabel, Avis, Fibrostuna, and Angel Reyes for being members here on YouTube, and Jay Flem for being for the Twitch Prime sub, and Eric for the $2. Money for more, but can I have one?
If you can find us, sure. Honestly, though, get zebra cakes. They're better.
Yeah, zebra cakes are way better.
Yeah.
Well, did you see there's a Switch Mini now? Lite. I'm sorry, it's called the Switch Lite.
I did see the Switch Lite. I was so happy that Nintendo likes to break news right when I'm trying to upload my video in a frantic panic.
I got a lot of messages that were like, "Wake up!"
Yeah, half of my comments were, what about the Switch Lite?
Well, don't worry, guys. We're on the case
Yes.
here on Wulff Den Live. There's a new Switch Lite, and they uploaded a 6-minute video talk about how it doesn't do half the stuff that the regular Switch does. So here it is. This is Switch
Yeah.
Lite. It's exactly what the rumors said it was going to look like. It's got the D-pad, which yes,
Which is
that
very
is
cool.
sick.
Yes.
The thumbsticks look the same.
I think everything else, like button-wise, everything else is the same.
I thought the thumbsticks would be pushed in a little more, you know?
No.
The colors are interesting.
Yes.
We're getting yellow, gray, and turquoise.
Well, I guess gray is like their most like the gray Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cool looking gray.
It is. It's actually gray, not just like this black gray.
It looks better than the gray of the actual of the Switch. The Switch gray, like the gray.
Well, the
color
Switch
of the
itself is black, and then the Joy-Cons are like this dark, ugly
the gray.
gray.
Yeah, that's an ugly gray.
Yeah.
This is a much nicer looking gray.
Yeah.
The turquoise, I'm a big fan of like teal and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm not into this turquoise.
No, really?
I might actually go for the yellow.
Really.
Yeah, for 2 reasons.
You did have
one, it kind of looks good, and 2, YouTube thumbnails.
I was gonna say you had a yellow Game Boy Color back in the day.
I did. It's back there somewhere.
I had Atomic Purple, and a lot of people on Twitter were like, "Why isn't there an Atomic Purple Switch Lite?"
Yeah, well, the people modded theirs to make it. I mean, not the Switch Lite, the Joy-Con.
Regular
people,
Switch, yeah.
People put the...
If they did make an Atomic Purple Switch Lite, I would buy it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just for the novelty.
Just for the novelty. But, well, we'll get into it. But right now, I'm not looking to get a new Switch.
Right. A lot of people aren't, Will.
Yeah.
Because there's a good reason why you shouldn't get a Switch Lite.
Let's keep going. Let's go through everything.
Let's keep going.
Yes.
Better together, multiplayer gaming options, local wireless. link up to 8 Nintendo Switch. You could do that on a regular Switch. And online play, which you could do on a regular Switch. More system features, Nintendo eShop news album, just like on a regular Switch. So many games to play, and they have a bunch of games that some are out, some aren't out.
Yep.
And it's going to be $200.
Yes.
Which is great.
Yeah, that's
a
good
solid price.
That's a good sweet spot.
$100 cheaper than the MSRP of an actual regular old run-of-the-mill Nintendo Switch.
Yes.
I think that is perfect. Mm-hmm. Another cool thing, the frickin' Zacian and Zamazenta edition.
Yes.
Or how about just the Sword and Shield?
Pokemon Sword and Shield edition.
Just called it that. I want that.
That's a really cool.
But that doesn't come out until November 8th. Whereas the regular edition comes out
September 20th.
September 20th.
Yes.
I'm going to have to get the regular one because I got to make a video.
Obviously,
on it. Yeah. So that's unfortunate that I'm not going to be able to get the Zamazenta edition. But it's cheaper because it's missing some things.
It is missing some things. The big thing it's missing is it's missing TV mode.
Yes. Now, I called that.
You did. I'm disappointed in this.
Yeah, a lot of people are.
Because yes, this version of the Switch is focused on portability. Mm-hmm. It's focused on being the portable system. This is for people like me, actually, who primarily play it as a portable handheld, almost exclusively.
Yep.
However, it doesn't look like there's anything internally different between the Switch and the Switch Lite where there wouldn't be a reason for it to output to TV. I bet you the only reason why they're saying it doesn't output the TV mode is because it's not coming with a dock.
There's got to be something different internally because it has a better battery life.
It has a better battery life, yeah.
Well, there's somewhere on Reddit there's a better list, a better comparison chart of the two versions. So it says that you can only use it in handheld mode. Mm-hmm. That's another thing. You can only play games that support handheld mode. Obviously,
yes,
that should come as no surprise.
Yes,
the eShop will also dictate now if games are playable on the Lite. Or they'll give a warning if you can't play games or if it requires a Joy-Con.
Right.
What else? Yeah, only in handheld mode. No Joy-Cons included. Near identical button layout to the original Switch with 2 Joy-Cons attached, except has a D-pad on the left side.
Right, instead of the directional button.
I don't think that's going to affect any games.
No.
Does not have HD rumble or IR sensor.
Now,
that's another thing that'll make it significantly cheaper.
Yes. I don't know how many games took advantage of HD rumble in terms of gameplay. Maybe 1-2 Switch. Mm-hmm. Same thing with the IR sensor. That's about it.
Well, yeah, it's like a nice feature in a lot of games, but it's not necessary to the gameplay except for 1-2 Switch. 1-2 Switch, you need the HD rumble. Yeah. But you also just need a Joy-Con in general. So
yeah. Well, this, I don't know if it's on this list, but the Switch Lite does support Joy-Cons.
Yes.
You can hook up Joy-Cons and Pro controllers to it via Bluetooth, and you can play with it that way. It just won't charge your Joy-Cons. Obviously, you still have to get like a charging station or a charge grip.
Yeah.
But, I mean, theoretically, you could play 1-2 Switch on this if you had separate Joy-Cons.
Yes. I'd imagine that most... I mean, I can't think of a game that just straight up won't work.
Yeah.
Unless you have... You just need to get an additional Joy-Con. You need to prop it up because it doesn't have a kickstand.
It does not have a kickstand.
We thought it did because one of the mock-ups had a kickstand on it, or spot for a kickstand.
Which is fine because that kickstand is kind of crap.
Yeah, my kickstand is trash.
Also, too, the kickstand also doubles as the SD card cover.
Yes.
And if you're using it in tabletop mode, your SD card is exposed, and I've never liked that.
You're paranoid.
I know, but the Switch Lite actually has a cover for the SD card slot.
There's more here, Will. It has NFC.
It does have NFC, and it has gyro in it. It's got motion sensing.
That is good.
It has motion sensing in it, so you can play Mario Odyssey just like you normally would.
So you throw your
Switch. Pokemon.
Breath of the Wild is Pokemon.
Yeah.
Where you aim the Pokeball.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild where you aim the Sheikah tablet or whatever.
Sheikah Slate.
Sheikah Slate. The Sheikah iPad.
Yeah.
Can still connect to extra Joy-Con.
Yeah,
Yes.
like we were saying.
They both have Wi-Fi. They both support Bluetooth. They both have a 3.5 millimeter audio jack, which is hard to find in technology these days.
Yeah, that's felt like it shouldn't be stated, but it has to be.
It does not have adaptive brightness, only manual adjust. That's weird.
Yeah. So, like, adaptive brightness is like it knows to change the brightness, like when you change rooms or go out in the sun.
A lot of people turn that off immediately on their devices.
It does drain battery.
No. It conserves a lot of battery.
Does it?
Because if you have the adaptive light, then when you're in a dark room, it brings the brightness down.
Right, but it uses processing power to do that.
Yeah, but the most battery hogging thing on your phone is the screen.
Right.
Or on any device is the screen. So being able to regulate how much power the screen is using is way more beneficial.
Right.
So I always leave the adaptive brightness on.
Yeah, I generally leave it on because I don't care.
I think the 3DS had one and it was trash, the adaptive brightness. So some devices might have bad adaptive brightness. I think the Switch's is fine. I never really notice it. Some people, this isn't going to be a problem for them.
Yeah.
I think it's just weird. It's not something that costs that much money.
Yeah, I'm surprised like why they removed that.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem like something that would be a big deal.
And, like I said, it would help battery life. And that's a big selling point for a console like this. But I guess when they do the battery tests, they just lower the brightness all the way anyway.
Yeah.
It's not compatible with the Labo kits, which obviously.
Right. Well, obviously, but at the same time, it is surprising because they do seem to be supporting Labo, like, very heavily.
Yeah, but it's how could it support?
I know.
You would need to make new Labo kits for it.
Yeah, they said that this is about the size of a Switch with one of the Joy-Cons taken off.
Okay, yeah, it's a 5.5 inch screen.
Right.
So and the original Switch is a 6.2 inch.
Yeah, but they're both 720p screens.
I thought the original Switch was a 7 inch screen.
I think it only feels like a 7-inch screen because it has a huge bezel.
Yes. Not compatible. Yeah, I read that one already. Not compatible with the Nintendo Switch dock. Does not support output to a TV. Therefore, it does not come with a dock, HDMI cable, or kickstand. Now, I think that this might also be what we were talking about, how they need to do something about the power consumption of the Switch. And this might make... We don't know if it's going to use the same adapter. We don't even know if it's going to come with an adapter.
No, I think it is USB-C.
No, it is USB-C.
Yeah.
But we don't know the charger. If the charger's the same charger, or if it's going to be a new charger, or if it's even going to come with a charger.
The next thing is includes charger.
Oh, well, you know what? There we go. We figured it out.
There you go. Problem solved.
Where does it say that?
Right below doesn't support TV mode.
Oh, it's on the left side.
Yeah.
That's why. All right. But we still don't know if it's the same charger.
No,
We
I
can
think
only assume that it's the same charger.
No, I think it is USB-C.
No, we know
Yeah.
that it's USB-C. I'm
Yes.
telling you it's USB-C.
All right.
The charger.
Yeah, I think it's the same charger.
The same
Yes.
charger. Because that charger is not a good charger.
No, it's not.
That's why I'm saying they need to upgrade that.
Right. I'm pretty sure it's the same charger.
We don't know for sure yet.
Right, but it feels like...
Chances are it probably is.
With the exception of the dock, all the accessories... With the exception of the dock and Labo, all the accessories should still work for this.
This is a good opportunity for them to fix their power consumption problems.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
Right. So it would be a good opportunity to make a new damn charger.
Yeah.
But chances are it's probably the same charger. Then we get the size comparison. You said it's about the same size as the Switch with one Joy-Con off.
Yeah.
It's approximately 0.61 pounds. How thick is this? How deep? Oh, it's the same.
It's the same
depth.
Same thickness. Point about half an inch thick.
We called that too, by the way.
Yeah.
5.5 inch screen, 720p resolution. Battery life approximately 3 to 7 hours.
So about half an hour better than the original Switch.
The original says 2.5 to 6.5 hours.
Yeah.
This is 3 to 7 hours. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Not a lot,
No.
but all right, I guess.
Yeah.
There's no difference between the two models in performance.
Which is good.
But we're talking about in handheld mode.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you dock the Switch, it performs better. And it'll be released on September 20th. So I'm interested to see the teardown of this bad boy because
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet that something's a little different in there, so that it's They got rid of it has the NFC. It has NFC and gyro. They got rid of HD rumble and the IR sensor.
Yes.
So that helps it make it at least a little cheaper.
Yes.
Also, it doesn't have Joy-Cons at all.
The smaller screen.
It has the smaller screen. And it doesn't come with a dock.
Yeah.
So there's $100 right there.
Yeah.
Now, not being able to output to the TV, it has to be something hardware related has to be underpowered so that it won't output to a TV.
Or maybe there's like a specific processing chip that is for outputting to TV, and they removed it for the Switch Lite.
I don't think that's the case.
Probably
I don't think
not.
they have that.
I'm just spitballing here.
Because the way it works is the dock, like the Switch just runs it. When you dock the Switch, it runs at a higher resolution and it bumps the graphics up a little bit because it has more power and it doesn't have to drain the battery. You know, it's just conserving battery when you're using it in portable mode. So it's still using all of the hardware that's inside of the Switch itself. It's using all of the same stuff. It's just drawing more power because it has more power to draw. So that leads me to believe that they can cut some more costs on pure handheld Switch Lite, you know?
Well, I imagine it must be like, because iOS knows whether it's running on an iPhone or an iPad, which is based on what the hardware internals are of the device itself. So there has to be some sort of hardware revision to this Switch. You know, not just the fact that it's missing HD rumble and the IR sensor, but like something like with terms of processing power as well.
If it's just the exact same specs, the exact same everything, people are going to be really mad.
Yeah.
That they can't dock it for some unknown reason.
Yeah.
Because it's really not. I mean, just get a friggin' dongle and dock the thing. That's all the dock is a glorified
Pretty much.
dongle.
Yeah, or get the one you have where it's the dock in a smaller case.
Yeah. So there's I will definitely be able to dock this Switch Mini in that dock because it's the same thickness.
Yeah.
There's nothing on the side that's blocking it. So it'll definitely fit in there. But all it will do is charge.
Yeah.
You know, it won't be outputting to the TV. Although, if it's the same hardware, why not? You know?
Yeah, that's the thing.
You shove it in a dock. Why won't it just work? But again, it might not be the same hardware.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola in the chat says, according to the FCC filing, the company is seeking regulatory permission to change the SoC type, the NAND memory and CPU board. Oh, that's for we have a story about that, but I think that's for the original Switch. I don't think that's for the Mini.
Okay.
The Lite, whatever.
Well, we'll get to that when we get to that.
We got some super chats though.
We do. We have a bunch of super chats. Why are they not showing up in Streamlabs?
It likes to refresh and take forever every time I open it. I'm trying to find what the last one was. There's so many of you. Last one was Eric. Jay Flem, thanks for the 6 months. Prince Altoy, thanks for the 10 months on Twitch. John's Random World, thank you for the $1. Mark 012498, thank you for the £2. Switch Lite as a second screen for Mario Maker 2? ? Second screen. We need to send you to recovery.
I saw someone on Twitter, I forgot who it was, but they put up an image where they just basically said, all right, Nintendo, hear me out. And it's somebody with a regular Switch hooked up to the TV in TV mode, and they're using a Switch Mini as like a Wii U tablet. So maybe something like that.
That'd be a good multiplayer
Yeah.
thing. I mean, you'll definitely be able to play multiplayer on your... That's going to be cool applications.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Having somebody playing on a TV and somebody next to them playing on a Switch Lite.
Yeah.
That'll definitely be able to happen.
Yeah.
But no, you need to go seek counseling about how your Mario Maker 2 addiction. K0944, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. Dark Sida Killer, thank you for the $25. I'm back. Did you miss me? Haha. Hyped for the light. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And yes, I missed you so much. Dark Type with $5. Za Xian and Za Ma Zenta already have my money. Take it, Nintendo.
Thank you.
He spelt it like that.
we're going to continually screw up the names, just to let you know. But thank you for helping us sound it out here.
It'll be different every time, I
Yeah.
promise. Gene Call from Morales for $2. If it had TV output, it would affect Switch One sales.
I don't think it will.
I think it would.
I don't think it would.
I think it would.
Because if they market this primarily as a portable device and don't really hype up the fact that you can export it, you can connect it to a TV, you know, everybody will still think it's only a portable system. And then hooking it up to the TV is a nice bonus. Whereas with the original Switch, you push that as the one that can connect to the TV if you wanted to.
I think it would be very Nintendo to leave the same hardware inside of it and just say, nah, you can't connect it to a TV.
Well, I mean,
because of the marketing, because they don't want it to affect the original Switch.
The Xbox One S All Digital Edition is literally just an Xbox One S without a disc drive in it.
Yeah.
Everything else is exactly the same. Even the eject button is still there. So it's very possible that the Switch Lite rather, is a similar case.
Yeah. No, it is. You're right. I just hope it's not the case. I hope that it would be smart to cut corners with the internal hardware because you don't need that much power.
Yeah.
You just don't need half of the processing power that you already have. Your boy Goku, thank you for the sub on Twitch. Just a hair with $5 on the back of Pokemon Switch Mini. It does have the dent where it looks like it docks.
Yes.
But I wonder if the joystick will stop it from docking. Definitely will.
This little like stand thing here, it'll work in because it's got the little indent.
Oh, those things. Yeah.
Yeah. So this thing should theoretically work.
And you will need that if you want to play in tabletop
Yeah.
mode because it does not have a kickstand.
It says it doesn't support tabletop mode, but it can support tabletop mode if you have if you get a stand like that.
He means he means the indents on the bottom where it charges?
No, if you look on the back of a Switch, you'll see like right where you're supposed to pick. Let me just pull up the picture.
No, I see.
This little thing right there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's got the same vents too, in the same spot. I'm scared that it's the same hardware, Will.
It probably is.
I'm scared. Majin Vegeta all day with $13? Bob, that was funny as hell how you smoked beat 'em ups Mario Maker stage. Will, look forward to your videos every week. Need to do Keanu Reeves best to worst. That would be some hard stuff. Keanu is the man.
I'm not doing that. I almost killed myself making today's video. I'm not doing that. All you need to know is that every Keanu Reeves movie is the best movie. Even Johnny Mnemonic. And that movie is bad.
I still haven't seen John Wick 3.
Spider-Verse is on Netflix. Have you seen it? No, of course not.
Nope. One thing at a time, Will.
You're a bad fan. You're a very bad fan.
Aiden McGeehan with $5. The processor is probably binned, meaning it can't boost as high. So that could be preventing it from docking.
Maybe.
But why not just go for a cheaper processor?
Yeah.
You know, if you don't need it to be that high.
Well,
but then if you get a nice powerful processor, it runs better on battery.
Well, according to Arthur Barros, who gave us 5 rubles, it's cheaper to not implement the video output on top of the USB-C protocol. You need a dedicated chipset just for that. It's not just software.
I need to read this again.
It's cheaper to not implement the video output on top of the USB-C protocol. You need a dedicated chipset for that. It's not just software.
To not implement the
so
video
he's
output on top of the USB-C.
USB-C is just the design of the input.
Right.
There's 1,000 different kinds of USB-Cs. There's USB-C 2.0, USB-C 3.0, USB-C Thunderbolt, USB-C your mother. You know,
Right.
They all do different things, but they all look the same, and they're not all compatible
so he's
with
just
each
saying
other.
it's like just missing the
Yeah.
like how like certain inputs have like different coppers. You can like see the coppers,
exactly.
and it's just missing the video one.
Yeah,
That's what he's saying.
exactly.
I mean, that's possible.
Yeah.
It's also possible they just took a regular Switch and just made it smaller.
Yeah.
Just took the Joy-Cons off. Spawn Wave, the second he gets this thing, is going to rip it in half. So
Yeah.
then we'll know all of the answers.
Yeah.
X Overcooked, thank you for the Prime sub. We're getting a lot here.
Yeah.
Quale Goncalves
Perfect.
with more ruples. People forget the Switch heats up. Imagine a smaller Switch, smaller fans, the components being closer together. The poor Switch Lite would burn, in my opinion.
You might be right. My Switch got super hot one time.
Super hot.
Super hot.
But why would it burn up if it's the same thing?
If it's the same thing but more compact, that nothing has room to breathe. The fans then would be smaller.
That much smaller. It's the screen's smaller. The air vents look like they're in the exact same spot.
It might be
It's just missing the Joy-Con.
just smaller enough, if that makes sense.
I think that this will have the same heat consumption issues that the old Switch has. The current Switch. I don't think it's gonna burn up quicker or anything.
Yeah.
Unless it's like unless they made it a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Which they clearly did not. Thank you for the $1 from Thomas Nolan. Blockhead Gaming, we know them.
Oh.
Thank you for the $2. Oh well, hello.
Oh,
hello.
hello.
Arthur Barros has become a member here on YouTube. Smite PK with $2 donated. Not through Super Chat.
Damn.
Hey there, thanks for being one of my inspirations next to wood. Next to wood! Take your $2 back. For buying a Switch. One of my best purchases of the last couple of years. Thank you, Smite Peak. I'm glad you enjoy your Switch. Majin Vegeta all day with $2. Bob, go see John Wick 3. LMAO. When we went to see Spider-Man, I saw they were still showing John Wick 3.
Yeah. You should have said, all right, I'll see you guys later. I'm going to go see John Wick.
Spider-Man was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, we still have a lot to talk about with this Switch.
We do.
Mini situation.
Close the wrong window.
Where are we?
I don't even know anymore.
I just put a bunch of crap here.
Yeah.
Okay, so CNET wrote an article where they interviewed Doug Bowser, and he answered a lot of questions, and a lot of other articles are like quoting this article.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna read his quotes because that's easier than going between each article.
Yeah.
He says, "We believe the two systems will complement each other and coexist in the market," Nintendo of America President Doug Bowser said in conversation with CNET, distinguishing the Lite as a compact, lightweight, dedicated gaming device. What's another quote? I should have highlighted these quotes. Well, all the way at the bottom, I know he says, what's missing? It's missing switching and rumble. Get it? That's like the flagship.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
The reason why it's called the Switch.
Yes. Somewhere in here, it's supposed to say how you can distinguish. I'm just going to read the articles. It's much easier that way. The eShop will warn users what games will have Switch Lite compatibility issues. Earlier today, Nintendo stated that Switch games boxes would feature a new icon to let players know that a title is compatible with the Switch Lite. So I thought it would say if a title isn't compatible with the Switch Lite.
Right.
But now it's going to say if it is compatible, which is weird because I'd imagine almost all of them are compatible.
I think,
So why would you make it so you need to have an icon on almost everything instead of just saying when it's not compatible?
This is the new thing, and you want to make sure if something works with it, not that it doesn't work with it.
Well, it's like when they made the new 3DS.
Right.
There were like two games that only worked on the new 3DS.
Yeah.
And the marquee said only on new Nintendo 3DS. So I'd imagine they do something like that.
Yeah.
Only on original or not compatible with.
I think it sounds better if you say
right.
that it will work with the new thing.
It's negative to be like.
Does not work.
So that's why the 3DS they said only on.
Yeah.
But then they could say, but only on original Nintendo Switch. Yeah, it doesn't work. That's not as good. Because then people would be like, well, do I have the original? What's the original?
Yeah.
All right, well, anyway, the eShop will do the same by including the same icon. What happens if people ignore that icon and go ahead to purchase the game anyway? No worries, as Nintendo has confirmed that the eShop itself will give you a warning if you try to actually purchase a title incompatible with Switch Lite. But guess what, Will? Freaking Target and GameStop isn't gonna care.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, get out of here. You opened it already.
Yeah. I mean, if you were to stick a cartridge, once you switch cartridge into this thing, it should theoretically work.
Yeah, it'll work.
It'll just boot up.
It'll just be like, where's your Joy-Con?
Yeah. And then you have to connect it separately.
Here's another thing from this article, from the CNET article that is then diluted through Nintendo Life here. You'll be able to transfer saves between Switch and Switch Lite eventually. So let me back up a second. I'm going to get this thing because it's my damn job.
Yes.
Right? But I want to ideally have this as my portable Switch. Like, I want to have my Switch that's docked right now, that's staying docked forever.
Right.
The Switch Lite, I want to be able to throw in my bag and take that with me.
So you basically want the Switch Lite to be the PS Vita to your PS3, PS4, Nintendo Switch regular.
Yes. Although it's not really good to leave your Switch in the dock.
No.
My dock's nice and open, so I don't really care, but you get issues when you're like running your Switch hard in the dock. But anyway, I want the Switch Lite to be my portable Switch. The problem is, right now, transferring your stuff is a pain in the ass, and you can't really have multiple consoles. It doesn't really, it's not as quick as, let's say, even a PS4 or Xbox. You can have multiple PS4s and multiple Xboxes, and transferring stuff isn't really that big of a deal. But on the Switch, it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big pain in the ass. If the games have cloud save, it's not really that much of a problem, but Pokemon Sword and Shield isn't going to have cloud save. Animal Crossing isn't going to have cloud save. There's a lot of games right now that still don't have cloud save. So it's not going to work for all my games.
Yeah.
You know, I want my Switch to be able to have all my games. Also, I'm going to have to get another giant memory card.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks, but that's just the life I lead.
Well, Prime Day is next week, so I'm on the hunt.
True. So anyway, you'll be able to transfer save files between Switch and Switch Lite eventually. As the initial excitement from the Switch Lite reveal starts to calm, a little more practical questions start to enter our minds. The most pressing of all of these questions is probably, do we need one of these? And also, how would we actually use it? The cheaper price point of the bright colors are very likely...
The cheaper price point of the bright colors.
Yes, I'm going to stick with that. Are very likely designed to attract families with younger players. It'll no doubt act in a similar way to the Nintendo 2DS in that regard. But how about for those of us who already own an original Switch? You know, like everyone watching this right now. It would be pretty cool to be able to play our favorite games on the TV with our original model and then take the Switch Lite out and about to save some space. After all, the Switch isn't the easiest thing to fit in a pocket, is it?
Just not trying hard enough.
Yeah, you got to get some Jankos.
Yeah.
But how would this work? Can we start playing Zelda on the Switch and then carry on playing with the same save file on the Switch Lite? That would be a perfect utopia, Will. Talking to CNET, Nintendo of America President Doug Bowser says yes, but perhaps not immediately. Yes, you will, according to him, yes, you will have the ability to transfer between devices your gameplay experiences. What? Yes, you will have the ability to transfer between devices your gameplay experiences. More to come on there, but that is the intention.
Okay. So basically he's saying, like, yes, you'll be able to, but we got nothing right now.
Yeah, I mean, I know this is something that they're going to have to develop and figure out. I'm having like flashbacks on transferring all my stuff from my 3DS to the new 3DS.
Yeah.
And that was a freaking nightmare.
Yeah.
You basically have to nuke the old device.
Yeah.
To transfer all your stuff
It's
over.
embarrassing, really, that you can't just load everything onto the SD card and then switch systems.
People like argue that it's easier than it is on the 3DS, and it honestly,
I'm sure
it probably is.
Yeah.
Like, you can supposedly just have your... So, like, when I got a new SD card, people said, just put the SD card in the computer and copy the files over. But
you can't really do that.
They said that works, but I don't believe that works.
There was a Verge article on how to do that I bookmarked.
Well, I just re-downloaded everything, and it's
you could do
I'm
that.
not worried about the initial moving my account over.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about logging in, downloading everything onto a new SD card. That I'm not worried about. I'm worried about playing Mario Maker. I have my save file on my Switch. And then I'm like, oh, crap, I gotta go. And then I just grab my bag, which has my Switch Lite in it, and I jump out and go into the car. Will I have my save file on the Switch Lite?
Yeah.
That's what I'm mostly worried about. And it should work for Mario Maker because that has cloud saves. Logging into multiple devices is weird on the Switch. You have your account on my Switch. I never deleted it.
You can
is
do
that.
that.
Your actual account, or is that a
that's-
different account?
I think it's my actual account.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens when you log in right now?
Well, see, this would help if I had my Switch.
Well, like, what's going to happen if you just... What's going to happen if you just go in here and just, I don't know, pick a game and just...
All right.
I have the brightness all the way down because I was playing in bed last night.
Let's do Odyssey.
While you do that, I'm going to read some super chats. Nick donated $5. Hey, Bob, I'm back. I will never forget accosting you on the street while too high. I hope you remember me as fondly as I remember you, my love. Oh, XOX. I remember very much. That was before the matches.
Oh, yes.
See the matches. Dennis Daly with $1. Thank you. Qui-Gon Calvez again with 2 ruples. I mean, it would burn if the light were to be docked. Yes. Yes, because it would have to boost its power. It would have to use itself at its full power. So you're right. I'm sorry. Lucas with 2 ruples. We're getting a lot of ruples.
Yeah.
Kyle Kilgore with $1. I hear you in the game already.
Yeah, but it's Mario Odyssey, and it's the beginning of the game. It's like the opening cutscene.
Okay, so you don't have your save, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
But you were able to just log in fine, no
Yeah.
problems? Okay. Interesting.
But if I go, But what if I go to Will's page?
Supposedly, like, I got to give you my account on your Switch. No, I don't want to do that now if we're getting a Switch Lite. I think you can only have it on 2 accounts.
It wants me to sign in.
I don't want you to sign in.
Yeah.
You might screw some stuff up, but if you hit OK, what is it going to warn you?
Preparing. It's going to have me, go through the steps.
Is there any warnings?
I don't see any.
Like, it's going to log you off of your Switch?
I don't see anything.
Because I'm pretty sure that's what happens. It kicks you off the other Switch. Supposedly, if I log my account into your Switch, you can get all my games. You can download all my games and play them. But I don't know if I want to play on your Switch, if it'll log me off of my Switch, you know?
Yeah, so I'm just going to back out of this.
Lucas with 9 ruples. It will also allow lazy developers like Game Freak to have a pass in not making a proper console Pokemon game, saying it is focused on portable undocked. No, on the portable mode. That's your... Come on now. People are giving Game Freak a lot of crap.
Yeah. Gosh, so they're not making the game you want. Big deal.
Arthur Barros with 10 ruples. Watch with all you Russians. That is Russians, right?
Yes.
See, I'm just seeing R and then $. What are the odds that Nintendo release a hardware that is TV mode only? Just like PlayStation TV is for PS Vita. I mean, I never use my Switch undocked.
I saw somewhere, also on Twitter, so the Switch Lite is just a Switch in handheld mode, so the next Switch is just going to be a TV.
Was that Nintendo? Nintendo tweeted something.
I think he retweeted it, yeah. It's Brazilian.
Oh!
Brazilian real.
Bang!
Yeah.
That's the only thing I know in Portuguese, and I don't even know what it means. Anyway, the Vita TV failed miserably. So, maybe it was before its time. I don't think they're going to do a friggin' docked only Switch. I don't think
the Vita TV was weird because like half those games like required touch screen and back touch, and like not everything was compatible.
I don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah.
Just if you want it to be docked, get the regular Switch.
Yeah.
Simon for Belmont with $2. Bob, does Maker beat Odyssey as best Switch game? Possibly. I need more time with it.
Really? You didn't automatically just be like, yo, Mario Odyssey?
It's my favorite, but best? because like I need to know what everybody needs in a Switch game. You know what I mean? Well, I think Mario Odyssey is like pretty perfect for everybody. Mario Maker, I'm not sure if it's. I think everybody should play it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's better than Odyssey as like an all-inclusive gaming experience.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But it is definitely my favorite Switch game. Where are we?
Robin Battles.
Robin Battles is for you. It's $5. Just watch the Marvel ranking video you make. Has your opinion changed yet?
Because I keep saying in the video, like, this thing's changed constantly.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, so did it change it?
I didn't realize while I was making this, even though I probably should have, that I ranked Ant-Man higher than Endgame.
What is wrong with
like-
you? Ant-Man is not that good.
Yes, it is.
It's a good movie. As far as Marvel movies, throw that bitch in the back.
I stand by Ant-Man 1 and Thor 1 being in my top 10. 100% wholeheartedly.
Wow, you're a
I
crazy
will not waver on that. I mean, otherwise, I'm trying to think of like I probably should have ranked one of the Guardians movies higher. Civil War was like this close to making the top 10, but for the most part, like my top 5 are like set in stone.
So, where would you put Endgame and Ant-Man? What would you do differently now that you know that Ant-Man was higher than Endgame?
I would probably just put Endgame at like number 11, which is basically flipping Endgame and Civil War.
Okay. Yeah. So does that make it higher?
It would make it higher.
Higher than Ant-Man?
No, right below Ant-Man.
Still below Ant-Man?
I'm not moving Ant-Man out of my top 10.
You're a freaking crazy person. And it's Endgame.
Yes. That doesn't change anything.
All right, well, anyway. Levy Hutchinson. So if you want to see a crap show, go watch Wulff's video on ranking all the MCU movies. Levy Hutchinson, $2. Why leave Bluetooth if it can't dock? Seems sketch. No, well, it's for the Joy-Con.
Yeah, for the Joy-Cons and the Pro Controllers. I mean, there are some games where, like, you know, you can play multiplayer on a small screen like that. So
I've seen a surprising amount of people play the Switch in tabletop mode. Like,
yeah.
I never do it. I don't see the appeal.
Yeah. Also, your kickstand's broken.
My kickstand is broken. But I've seen a surprising amount of people play the thing in tabletop with multiplayer, with other people.
Yeah.
It's mostly Smash Brothers when I see it. But so people do it. So that would be the use case for that. Simon Tobias with $1. Paul Stewart with $1. Paul Stewart again with $1. Power to the Cord with $5. Love the vids, guys. I bought an SN30 Pro because of your recommendations. Also, I'd totally buy the Sword and Shield Switch Lite.
Sword and Shield one is the best looking one.
I really want it.
Yeah.
I might get it. But then what am I going to do with my friggin'
other Switch Lite?
Yeah, my other Switch Lite. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. 4-1 top 10. Will, are you really my dad?
Yes.
Fred with $2. All right, we got to keep talking about stuff here that's relevant.
Yes. Why do I keep closing Streamlabs?
Oh, this is okay. Here we go. This is again with the same freaking article. Nintendo has no plans to add Switch Lite's D-pad to future Joy-Con. I don't know who had the foresight to ask this question. As you may have noticed, the Switch Lite has ditched the original model's directional input buttons for a traditional D-pad on the left-hand side of the console. While it won't make much of a difference for some, others, including our very own editor, Damien, this is according to Nintendo Life, are very excited about the Switch finally having this option built in. We've heard plenty of comments from Switch owners asking for a traditional D-pad on their Joy-Con in the past, despite the fact that the separated buttons are needed for single Joy-Con play. The new D-pad design on the Switch Lite has sparked this idea up once more, but Nintendo has confirmed that there are, quote, no plans to release Joy-Con with an updated design. The news comes from CNET, of course, who put the question on Nintendo of America President Doug Bowser. Doug Bowser, there are no plans or nothing more to announce in terms of further variations of Joy-Con. I don't know why that needed a whole article. But that's a little unfortunate. Well, we have the Hori Joy-Con that has the D-pad.
But the Hori Joy-Con isn't really a Joy-Con.
Correct.
Because it doesn't have motion. It doesn't have...
Can it be a real Joy-Con with a D-pad? because the whole purpose of the Joy-Con is being symmetrical.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. No, I get that. But also,
Because like you can't have a D-pad. Well,
you can. It would just be really awkward. That's why they did it this way, so it felt better.
so wait. I'm thinking.
The Hori controller doesn't have an internal battery.
Yes.
So it can only be played when in handheld mode.
Correct.
It doesn't have rumble or motion controls.
All that helps make it real cheap.
Yeah. Real cheap.
But all right, so my ideal D-pad Joy-Con is to have the D-pad on the top where
Right.
the thumbstick is.
Yeah.
Right? I don't even need buttons.
Yeah.
I don't need any of those buttons. Just put the freaking D-pad, just take the thumbstick off, put the D-pad on top.
Yeah.
I'm happy. If you wanted to have a Joy-Con that can be played on its own or on the Switch itself, you put the D-pad on the top and you leave the buttons on the bottom.
Yeah.
That way you turn it on its side and then you can play. But then the D-pad would be replacing the thumbstick, and that might be weird for games because it would have to... You wouldn't be hitting the buttons on... like, it would be a different input.
Yeah.
The Switch would recognize that as a different input.
Yeah.
And that might not work for all games.
Also, the Hori controller, when you slide it in, it doesn't make the sound.
Yeah, we talked about
And it doesn't have like the little thing on the side.
in the last video in the last stream where we talked about the Switch.
That's very important. When
You're very butthurt about that.
when what's his name was doing the video for Nintendo and he does the snap, I'm like, Switch Lite's not gonna make that sound. Why you play with my emotions like that?
So I would like to see this D-pad on a
Yeah.
Joy-Con, but I don't see how they could do that. And put it on the top
I don't know
anyway.
if there's gonna be like a demand for it, you know?
I'm demanding it.
Yeah, we're demanding it.
I'm demanding
but
it
like,
right now.
how much of a demand is there?
I demand it. Mario Maker, everybody should be demanding D-pads from
Right.
Nintendo. Having it down there is... I was playing in portable mode last night on Mario Maker, and it was not a not a great
when I was
experience.
trying to play Mortal Kombat with it, like going down just wasn't
Yeah.
working. You basically have to use this, but then your command inputs are all wrong.
Yeah. And using the thumbstick, I can't do that with Mario Maker.
Yeah.
It feels so wrong. Well, anyway. I have on here that this Pokemon Sword and Shield edition, we knew that already.
Yeah,
It is so pretty. Everybody take a look.
it is very nice.
Everybody take a look at it.
It really is like the best looking of the Switch Lites.
This is the best looking Nintendo official hardware that they've made in the last couple of years.
might be, yeah.
I will say it. What else is there? There's the Smash Brothers one that doesn't look that great.
Yeah.
The dock looks cool, but that's it.
That one Labo one.
The Labo one was pretty cool,
Yeah.
but that was very limited.
Yeah. The Pokemon Eevee and
Yeah,
Pikachu,
that one was
all right.
The dock again was the coolest
Yeah.
part, and the back of it was cool.
Yeah.
But the Joy-Cons were ugly.
Was there a Splatoon one? There's Splatoon Joy-Cons
Yeah, it was just Joy-Cons. Nothing else was.
and a Pro controller, but that was it.
Yeah. Really, you know what? Most of the reason why this is pretty is because the screen looks pretty.
Yeah.
But the screen obviously is just just part of the marketing. But this is nice. I want this.
Yeah.
Do we know if it'll come with the game?
Oh,
Because it's going to be $200. So I
Yeah.
don't think it's going to.
probably not then.
Normal game consoles that are special editions are the same price as a regular console,
Yeah.
but come with the game. Nintendo doesn't play like that.
Yeah.
Nintendo makes everything full price, not a deal at all. So this being $200, I don't think it's going to come with the game. It's on their website, but it doesn't say if it comes with the game. Right? Yeah, no. Doesn't.
No.
Oh, wait, learn more.
Includes Nintendo Switch Lite system and Nintendo Switch AC adapter.
Oh, thank God it has the AC adapter.
I told you it would. Hashtag Will was right.
And you know what? It says Nintendo Switch AC adapter. That sounds like
Yeah.
it's the same adapter.
Yep.
How unfortunate
Them's the breaks.
But it works pretty good in portable mode with the adapter.
Yeah.
It's when you introduce the dock into the equation that things get real weird.
Yeah.
That might be why this thing can't dock. With a built-in plus control pad. That's what they're calling it? Plus control pad?
Yeah. It was really weird because in the video they called these directional buttons, and then I think they called the D-pad the plus control pad, which is completely the opposite of like what we know them to be. It's called the D-pad because it stands for directional pad.
I wonder why they did that.
I don't know.
Is this D-pad like gonna be different? Like, is it not gonna have the ball joint at the bottom?
No, I think it's No, I think it'll be like a standard Nintendo D-pad.
Because I just broke my neck. One of the things that they made recently doesn't have the ball joint.
Really?
What was it? Is it the Pro Controller?
I don't know.
The Pro Controller might not have the ball joint. They started making D-pads weird, is what I'm trying to say. Well, while you look that up, we can move on to Nintendo is updating the original Switch with a new CPU and storage. The one that we have now.
Yes.
This is a supposed thing. This is according to The Verge. Nintendo just announced a smaller, cheaper version of the Switch today, but the Switch Lite may not be the only trick up Nintendo's sleeves. The original Nintendo Switch is also getting a new processor and new flash storage chips, according to filings with the Federal Communications Commission. The new chips could mean fewer slowdowns, faster load times, longer battery life, less heat, or perhaps none of these things. All right, that's great news. Nintendo submitted what's called a Class 2 permission change to the FCC, effectively a request to tweak an existing gadget without having to get the whole thing recertified for sale in the United States. And there, it vaguely lays out the changes. I'm going to show on screen what the FCC filing is. It's not very glamorous. It's just text. Mm-hmm. It says, to whom it may concern, this is a request to request a Class 2 permission change for FCC ID BKEHAC001, originally granted on December 25th, 2016. That's late. That's 3 months before the Switch actually came out. And all its permission changes. We changed the following points from the original model. Change of SoC type. Change of NAND memory type. CPU board is changed due to the above two components. That's what that guy was saying before via Super Chat.
Yeah.
In case you're unaware, SoC refers to the Switch's system on chip, aka the NVIDIA Tegra processor that contains the CPU and graphics, while NAND memory is more commonly known as the flash storage you find inside a solid state drive. So that 32 gigabytes you get?
Oh, yeah. Whopping 32 gigabytes.
They want to give you maybe a 64 gigger in there, Will.
Ooh, doggy.
You should know that we're not talking about the rumored Switch Pro successor to the Nintendo Switch. The one that would supposedly accompany the Switch Lite announced today. This is very clearly an update to the original model, right down to the same model number. And Nintendo probably won't say a thing because it doesn't want people to worry whether they're buying the Switch with the slightly newer processor when they're picking one up at retail. That I'm going to have to disagree with, because if they're changing the storage at all, they need to specify that.
Well,
the processor, they don't need to specify, but the storage, they need to specify.
Well, I'm trying to think, because the PlayStations and Xboxes go through internal revisions all the time and don't announce anything.
Right.
But they do say, oh, by the way, the PS4 is going to now come with 1 terabyte hard drives.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff has changes all the time.
Yeah.
But if they're going to change the storage, that's something they always specify.
I feel like they wouldn't, though.
Well, it's got to say it on the box.
Yeah, it would say
32 gigabytes.
Yeah, they would have to announce it.
It doesn't say NVIDIA Tegra chip on the box.
No.
I don't think.
No, it doesn't. No, I'm not saying.
I have to go run and
I'm
grab
not
my
saying
box?
that. I'm just saying in general, Nintendo probably won't release a new version of the Switch. It'll probably be a hardware revision inside, but not enough where they have to announce a new hard drive.
They're not going to make a press release and be like, this is the new Switch. And they're not going to have a commercial saying this is the new Switch. But we're going to know when there are new Switches because of the 64 gig or the higher internal.
Well, what I'm trying to say is Nintendo is not going to release a Switch with more than 32 gigs of memory.
Why? They're saying that that's the thing that they're doing.
I don't think that
It's
Where did it
part
say
of the SEC filing is that they're going to change the NAND memory, which is the flash storage.
right. But are they going to change it to increase it?
They might not necessarily change the NAND memory. It might just be them being like, "Can we do this with the FCC filing?" But I think that they should and would.
I think they should. I don't think they would.
I think if they're going to increase the processor, why not increase the memory? Because that's a lot of people's main concern with the Switch right now.
Yeah.
Is that it has pretty poor internal memory. Mm-hmm. So why not?
I mean, it makes sense. But I mean, like, the Wii never came with more than half a gig of memory. The Wii U only ever came with 8 and 32. Mm-hmm. Now this is only coming with 32.
I think it would just be to fix their. It's just an iteration, They realize that the storage is low, so they want to increase it.
Yeah.
The processor they probably want to increase just so that they'd have better battery life.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think this is going to be the new Nintendo Switch. I think this, although it could be, but I think this would, like you said, it's just a quiet release.
Yeah.
That we then go, oh, this is the new Nintendo Switch. We got to rip it apart and see what's inside. The video game industry has a long history of quietly swapping out components like this. Hey, that's what we just talked about.
Look at that.
By the way, and often just to cut costs because newer chips are generally smaller and easier to produce. But video game message boards often get pretty excited about opening up consoles and looking for new silicon because sometimes it makes a noticeable difference. The most famous example is perhaps when the Xbox 360 tended to overheat and succumb to the red ring of death, but models with newer chips were far better at resisting the issue. My Jasper is still going strong. Yeah, that's the really late original Xbox 360, right before they went to the S, the Slim.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was like a short window where they had the Jasper chip.
Yeah.
But it still wasn't like the perfect solution.
Right. I mean, our Jasper chip processor, the disk drive died.
I didn't know that.
We couldn't play anything that ran off a disk. That's why we got the Star Wars one.
I thought that was a red ring. I didn't know.
No, our first one was a red ring.
Oh, did it scratch the disc? That was another common issue with the Xbox 360.
It didn't. No, it didn't scratch the disc.
You put a giant ring in your disc.
It would not play the disc.
So there was when it died. One of us was playing Assassin's Creed.
I was playing Assassin's Creed 2 on our very first Xbox 360, and it red ringed, and I was like screamed. I'm like, no! I texted you like, it red ringed. Oh my god! I was able to get the disc out, but
when did we get the S? I got a 4 gigabyte Xbox 360 S to put in my room.
Yeah,
and I traded a DS Lite for it.
I don't remember.
Was that after we got a new Xbox?
I think so.
We had a lot of Xbox 360s.
We had 4. We had
so many.
We had the original Elite model, which red ringed. Mm-hmm. We had the Jasper replacement, which the disk drive eventually failed. We had the Star Wars one, and then we had the black one in your room.
I think I got the black one in my room after the replacement, the first replacement.
Yeah.
So I think it was the Elite, the replacement, mine, and then this Star Wars one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way it went. And I think I traded in the 4 gigabyte Elite one for this.
Yeah.
That was when I worked at GameStop. There was a lot of swindling going around.
That reminds me, I got to trade in my original Xbox One.
Anyway.
That's beside the point.
With the Switch, it wouldn't take much of an improvement to make a difference, given how the Switch's 4-year-old Tegra X1 processor is barely enough to churn through some of the system's existing titles, but there's no telling until someone gets their hands on the new model and does a comparison, aka Spawn Wave.
Yes.
That said, Eurogamer's Digital Foundry coincidentally has a wonderfully geeky article about a new NVIDIA chip that could be the one featured here. For what it's worth, Nintendo told us the new Switch Lite will have a more power-efficient chip layout with slightly improved battery life. So it might simply be that Nintendo's standardizing by also using those chips in the larger original model. That's true, too.
There you go.
There could be just that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would make the most sense because then they're just purchasing the same chips purchasing it in larger frequency. So that seems the most likely.
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, there you go. We know now that the Switch Lite has a different chip in it.
Yeah.
Did we know that already? Did we say that already before?
I don't think so.
I think we were like speculating if it did or
We
not.
were still talking about like it should theoretically be the same hardware inside.
Well, we were saying it probably is, but shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Now it sounds like Nintendo told The Verge that it's a completely different chip. The Switch Lite is a smaller, cheaper Switch built exclusively for handheld play. This is according to The Verge. There's a new Switch Lite, blah, 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 blah. Slightly improved battery life. The company won't get any more specific than that, except they did, due to a more power-efficient chip layout. So it's a different chip layout.
Yeah.
That is good news. As well as a lack of additional batteries in the built-in controllers. The Switch Lite also does away with the device's controversial kickstand. Controversial because it doesn't work? Is that why it's controversial?
It's controversial because it's flimsy and like it only has one setting.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point. If the Joy-Cons don't require battery, you don't have to charge them.
Yeah.
So that's better for power consumption right there. And the Switch's battery itself is charging the Joy-Cons even when it's not being charged. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's good. It's good that the chipset is different because it makes me it like if it can't be docked, there needs to be a reason why it can't be docked.
Yeah.
If it's a different chipset, that makes sense. Although I'm sure that once we get this thing, we're gonna find out that if you hack it, it could probably be docked.
Yeah.
All right, do we have friggin' super chats? I think we do.
I think we do.
God, I keep losing my spot.
Yeah.
Kyle Kilgore, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. Pip Hardwick, thank you for the $1. Clint Greasewood, thank you for the $10. Jeez. I'm looking at the Switch Lite as a successor to the 3DS line. They should have access to the 3DS library via the eShop or even the Nintendo Online.
They've already said that this is not replacing the 3DS line.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Also, probably not true.
Yeah.
It's also probably straight up replacing.
They're
the
just
3DS.
saying that now to like sound good for people who might have bought a 3DS yesterday.
Yeah, they always do that.
Yeah.
They always do that stuff. As
I'll
far as
probably get a 3DS price cut soon though.
true.
This is $200.
As far as getting 3DS games on the Switch eShop, I think it's totally possible, especially given the screen size.
Yeah.
That's the Switch Lite has a smaller screen, so it might be a
Yeah.
little weird. But I don't think Nintendo's going to do it.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be like, we couldn't figure out a good way to do it, even though the screen you could just force them all on the same screen. It would look weird, but it's definitely doable. But they want to make sure everything works.
Yeah.
They want to make sure everybody has a great user experience. Arginus Rodriguez with $2. Do you guys own any VR headsets?
He owns a PSVR.
Yes.
How many times have you played it?
When it came out and then never again. Trevor Martin with $5. What's the notch on the bottom middle if it can't be docked? What's it for, I guess?
I guess that's probably for accessories so that it can like that thing.
Like, for example, this kickstand.
Like charging stands,
Like,
basically.
This is being held really tightly in there
Yeah.
because of that little notch. G Schemes with $2. Now we need a Satisfy grip for the Switch Lite. I bet you he is scrambling right now.
Oh yeah.
Because that was one of the things that... How much can I say about this? That was one of his concerns. He was like, I want to do some stuff, but I need to know if they're making a Switch Lite.
Yeah.
You know, like I need to get going here. And he was like ready to give up on waiting for a Switch Lite. Where am I?
Dinosaur Onesie donated $1.
Thank you.
Aiden Quinn donated $1. Oh God, picking a character and stage and Smash on a even smaller screen is going to be hell. The Naruto Storm games already push it, and it's hard to pick a character on a regular Switch screen.
I wonder if developers can like make text bigger.
Maybe.
You know, if they detect that you're in docked mode, that'd be cool.
I think so.
what game was it? Was it Resident Evil? Like it scaled text incredibly poorly.
I know Mortal Kombat, like, I've only ever played it in portable mode, but like it does not look good. Especially like the menus and stuff.
Arthur Barros with 5 ruples. Who needs D-pad with all that 8-bit Duke controllers out there? Not sponsored.
Yeah.
True, but I mean, I want it all on my Switch.
Yeah.
For damn sure. Bad Dog Games, thanks for the Twitch Prime sub. Joe Munger with $2. There is no Switch Pro coming.
As of now.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that there's no Switch Pro coming. I think that if the most we'll get is the new Nintendo Switch. But that'll be like next year, maybe.
Yeah.
And before that, we'll get this quiet iteration. Brett Young with $2.
Yes.
LKM Cherokee, your boy.
Hey, Will, thoughts on Flash 72 to 74, Batman and the Outsiders 2 to 3, and Detective Comics 1006 to 1007.
That's
So basically, all the things I couldn't read the past few weeks because I was away or had to not be able to read comics, he wants me to catch up on. I didn't read them, and I'm not going to, so stop asking me. I did read both issues of Detective, though, and those are very good. I like how it's reminding me of like the early 2000s era of Batman. That was some good stuff. You never asked me to read Batman and the Outsiders, so why are you asking me to read now? Just saying.
There should be Spark Notes for this stuff.
There should be. I have seen...
Somebody make that website.
I have seen, like, comic review websites, if they review it, they'll tell you, like, what happened in it. So, just go there.
Carlos Rivera with $2. Does this mean you can use it on third-party docs? You can't use third-party docs ever.
Yeah, don't.
So don't do it.
Don't do that.
It doesn't mean that.
Yeah.
I mean, no, because the charge is the same. So it's not going to be better with third-party charges.
Yeah.
Third-party docs. Just don't even bother. I mean, I'm sure I will try it out and see what the deal is and try to figure it out with all these other people who are much smarter with how USB-C power consumption works. But I doubt it. Keep your hopes and expectations low. All right. Is that it with the Switch Mini? Or is there more stuff with the Switch?
That's it with the Switch Mini.
Wow. But that's not it for Nintendo.
It's never it for Nintendo, Bob.
Well, we finally know what games we're getting in July, Will.
Oh,
the brand new Nintendo Switch Online games we're getting. Donkey Kong 3.
Everybody's favorite Donkey Kong game.
Oh, boy. It's the one with the bug catcher.
Yeah. Stanley.
And then we're also getting Wrecking Crew.
Oh, boy.
I don't want to hear it. Please turn that off.
Do people like Wrecking Crew?
Mario's in it. There's that one Smash Brothers stage.
Yeah, there is.
No, nobody likes Wrecking Crew. Will. This is not good.
This is a bad month. They need to, this whole 2 games a month, they got to stop that.
Ant Dude down here in the replies, start releasing SNES games, you cowards.
That too. Not mentioned in the video, but they're also adding a rewind feature to NES games.
Yes, I wanted to bring that up.
Here, I have the IGN article. As for the rewind feature, which is also being released on July 17th, players will be able to press and hold ZL and ZR to rewind and quickly fix any mistakes that may have occurred, or simply just replay an awesome part of a section of a level.
I saw someone on Twitter with a video on it, and it looked a little too easy to do.
Well, it's just hitting one of the shoulder buttons.
Yeah, but there's it records the last few frames that happened.
Yeah.
And you just, if you die, you just go back and then not die.
Yeah, a lot of re-releases of games do that. You can do that on the SNES Mini.
I mean, you can I've always heard about quick saves, but rewinding?
Yeah, no, I've
never seen that
a lot
before.
of re-releases now. You can actually rewind.
We've gotten soft.
We have. We have gotten very soft.
Just freaking get your NES out.
Yeah.
Pop Mario 3 in there and play it like a real man.
But yeah, on the SNES Classic, you can rewind. You can't do that on the NES Classic, which I think, you can argue needs it more.
Yeah.
But
I watched it and I was like, that's cool, but feels gross. Like I would
Yeah.
never want to do that unless I was really struggling and trying to get through something. I've beaten games with quick save before.
Yeah.
But it feels wrong.
It does.
So I don't know. But well, hey, you know, NES games are very difficult.
Yes.
So now maybe you can get through some. Mm-hmm. And I recommend knowing your roots. If you like Zelda and you never played the original Zelda, go give it a shot.
Yeah.
Play that special version.
Yeah. Or it gives you like all the items.
Stuff.
Yeah.
All right, what else do we have? We also, hey, look at this. Super Mario Maker 2 players have already uploaded more than 2 million courses.
That's a lot of courses.
So I saw this, and the reason why I thought this was notable is because I think the game sold more than 2 million copies.
Really?
I can't find any hard information on that. But it had to have sold more than 2 million copies. Right?
I'd imagine so.
And there's only 2 million courses.
Unless it sold 1 million copies and every person uploaded 2 levels.
I'm trying to argue that
You're trying to figure out what the ratio is.
yeah, because people think that this game is for making games or making levels,
Right.
and I'm trying to argue that it's more for playing levels. Like more people are going to spend more time playing levels than making levels.
Yeah.
So I want like an actual like statistic on how much is sold. All I've seen so far is that it has sold more than the original game already. The Wii U one.
Right.
It already has sold more copies than the Wii U one.
So according to this, Super Mario Maker sold 4 million units.
Super Mario Maker 2?
One.
One?
Yeah.
That would mean that this sold more than 4 million units?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Hold on.
Yeah, please. I saw the Japanese sales numbers, which I have here.
All right. In May 2016, Nintendo announced that over 7.2 million courses. Oh, that's courses.
That's for the original, though.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, the Japanese sales chart says that Super Mario Maker 2 is at the top, and it sold in Japan 280,000.
Yeah. By March 2018, 4 million copies have been sold worldwide of Super Mario Maker 1 on the Wii U.
Let me make sure I'm getting everything right here. I want to make sure that no holds the UK. Yeah, it's number 1 everywhere. We know that already. Okay, Eurogamer. As of July 2nd, which was a while ago, Super Mario Maker 2 physical sales almost double original, which would be insane if you're saying 4 million copies.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say the hard numbers. Super Mario Maker 2 sold almost double the physical copies of its predecessor during its first week on sale. Wait. Fair enough, that was for Wii U, but still, Nintendo's Mario Creation Station sequel shot straight to the top of the UK charts. Christian Donlin wrote Eurogamer's Super Mario Maker 2 review. Whether you're building or not, this is a joy, he said, naming it a quirky and powerful... Okay, get to the point. It's a good week for Nintendo all around, as a fresh wave of Nintendo Switch marketing has buffeted both Zelda Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey back into the charts. Buffed. That should just be buffed. And Smash Bros. Ultimate back into the top 10. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, which launched on PS4 and Xbox One last week, enters into the top 10 for the first week. Blah, 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 blah. Crash Team Racing, last week's number 1, was ousted into second place. Doesn't, again, give you any numbers. Just says where they are in the top 10. Super Mario Maker 2 sold almost double the physical copies of its predecessor during its first week on sale. So does that mean it's only comparing the first week of both?
I have no idea. What article are you reading?
This is Eurogamer. I didn't put it in the thing. Total Nintendo in the chat says, so they are comparing the first week.
Okay.
But that could also mean that it's all, well, I feel like they would specify in its entire lifespan.
Yeah.
Because that would be a much bigger deal. Mm-hmm. There's no way to tell the actual numbers of the first week, is there?
Hold on.
If it's only sold 4 million in its lifetime, I don't think it sold 2 million in its first. No, it would be 1 million if it's double.
Super Mario Maker 1 debuted in Japan with more than 138,000 physical copies sold. It had sales of 245,000 copies in the first 3 weeks by the end of September 2015.
But that's only Japan.
That's only Japan.
Because in Japan, we already know it sold almost 300,000 copies this time around.
Correct.
So I guess that should be 1 million if you're averaging it out across the whole world.
Yeah.
Because you got UK and America, that's going to sell
In
more
the
than
first
Japan.
3 weeks on sale in North America, 445,000 copies had been sold, with over 500,000 sold by the end of September 2015.
It's got to be about 1 million.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna guess every single person uploaded at least one course.
Yeah.
Just to try it out.
Yeah.
But then if there's people who uploaded like 10 courses and there's people who's uploaded 0 courses,
Yeah.
you know? So those are the makers and then those are the non-makers.
Makers and the players.
Yes. All right. My point is, you don't got to make any courses.
Yeah.
Just play some courses. All right. That's the last story I have on here.
Okay.
Everybody go home. Let's read some more super chat.
Okay.
There's only Carlos Rivera with $2. Does this mean you can use it on? Oh no, I read that already.
Yes, you did.
Jackal Monkey with $5.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you very much.
And Tyler Hallman with $5. Listen to the new As Cities Burns yet? It's like a weird blend of all their previous albums.
I haven't, and that came out a while ago. As Cities Burn is great. The first album's like a post-hardcore like screamo type deal. Second album is like a little bit more indie, and then the third album is like real like indie rock.
Yeah.
Like some pop like weird stuff, but it's really good. And then now I heard the new single off of the new album, and it is not that good.
Ooh.
But I haven't heard the whole album.
Yeah.
Kayla McNeese in the chat says, did anyone hear about the Dr. Mario mobile game? It's kind of weird.
It came out.
Yeah, it surprised me.
Yeah.
I was not aware that it was out.
Yeah, me
until
neither.
somebody was like, did you play it yet? And I wanted to try to play it before the stream so I could talk about it, but I didn't.
Yeah. I should probably just download it and give it a shot.
Todd the Toad SMM2 says, do you use your Wii U anymore? Dude, it's been a week, man.
Yeah. So no.
No, I'm ready to put that into the archive.
Yeah.
It's going into the archive one of these days. All right, well, you know what? We're done with the stories. Let's talk about the tweet of the week.
Tweet of the week. Tweet of the week. Tweet of the week.
This week's tweet of the week isn't a tweet. It is a Twitter account.
Oh.
This is
this guy.
Ace Watkins, who is going to be your 2020 presidential candidate.
Yes. The only gamer running for president of the United States.
The first tweet I saw was this one that says, on the very first day I am elected president, I will pass an executive order to create Skate 4. Other notable ones is this one. I stand for the flag and I kneel for the boss.
There you go.
A picture of the boss from Metal Gear Solid 3. Another one of my favorites. There's a lot here.
Yeah.
Why can't I scroll? Another one of my favorites is, I have only just announced my campaign today, and the latest polls already showing I am top tier. And it's a tier list. Does the whole thing show up on screen? No, it doesn't. Damn it. How could I show this? Oh, I could just scroll like this. And it has all the presidential candidates in a tier list, and all the way at the bottom in F tier is Little Mac.
Oh, poor Little Mac.
Oh, it's still not on screen. Get on screen. You got to show Little Mac. There he is, his little stupid face. Because Little Mac sucks, Will.
Well, in the beginning, yeah, but then you train and he gets better.
No. We're talking about Smash Bros. Little Mac.
Oh, and then
He's trash.
That's a different story.
He also says, it's time this nation has a serious conversation about reparations for those who pre-ordered No Man's Sky.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, and then there's also... Gamers love to vote. We just need to focus that energy on the United States election and we can win. Does your me actually look like you? Yes, it does. Not at all. And it's the Everybody Votes channel. Mm-hmm. Only 90s kids will get that.
Yeah.
It's a good chat. It's a good Twitter account.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. All right, now is when we talk to you people.
Yes. As always, you can reach us on Twitter using the hashtag Wulff Den Live. If you left a comment on last week's Wulff Den Live, this is the part of the show we will finally answer you. And of course, ladies and gentlemen watching at home, please start leaving your questions and comments because we will get to them when we are done with everybody else.
Ace Baltazar in the chat says, Joy-Cons on Switch Mini. Can we sync our Switch Joy-Cons from the original onto the Switch Mini?
Yes.
They won't stick onto the Switch Mini, but you will be able to do that. We do the hashtag first, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to start with the Q73 Power. Your controller video was good. I want an SM30 Pro, but I don't think I'll ever get one. Want to hear something crazy? I use the thumbstick on the Pro Controller, not the D-pad, to play Mario Maker, and I've never had a problem. I think you are crazy, and you should be committed.
I mean, I get what he's saying because the thumb pad is in an easier place to get than the D-pad.
Yeah, but don't. Josh Just the Hair says, so the SNES for Switch is highly probable at this point. I mean, September will be the 1-year anniversary of the Nintendo Online, so time for people to renew, and there will be a new console with new users that Nintendo will want to join, but also, this is Nintendo.
Yeah, so I don't think it's... Just because it's an anniversary doesn't mean they're going to do anything.
I think he has a point, though.
Yeah.
It's been a year. Mm-hmm. They're running out of NES games.
They're not running out of NES games. They're taking their sweet time with the NES games.
And we now have a D-pad.
Yeah.
So I think this is the perfect time for some SNES. Mm-hmm. Also, are they going to make a classic console this year?
Probably not.
We'll find out, I think, in August. I think that's usually when they announce it.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do a classic console.
Well, anyway, Bernardo Venegas. Hi, guys. Last night I dreamed I met you both at a video game convention here in my country. We ended up playing Switch while you guys were waiting for the bus. It was a random dream, but I thought it was fun to mention. Keep up the great job. Greetings from Colombia.
Greetings.
I hope you never see me on a bus.
Yeah. Buses are, at least in this country, I don't know how they are in Colombia. They're probably like posh and nice, but buses are not cool here.
Especially New York.
Yeah.
Don't want
none of that.
Want none of that crap. Mm-hmm. Fart says, I bought the Pocket Go, but the screen tear is more than I anticipated, even on Pokemon Crystal. Do you have any other recommendations for a system that can play games in that form factor? I am looking to mostly emulate Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games. A lot of people were talking about the LMK, I think. It's a similar device that Retro Mini also sells. I don't know. The screen tear is pretty bad. I've been playing Mega Man Zero on it.
Yeah.
I mean, you get used to it though, but it kind of sucks. They reached out to me and said, "Oh, the screen tearing doesn't happen in like Neo Geo. So can you?
Like, who's playing Neo Geo?
So can you remake the video and say that?" It's like nobody cares about Neo Geo. You're on their website right now?
Yeah, this thing, right?
Yeah. No, that's not it. Go to products. Oh, did I say the wrong website?
You might have.
Yeah.
Oh, they do have this thing though.
No, it's Retro Mini.
This one, the retro game. 'Cause I've seen this, and this one looks good.
I don't know if that's it.
But it's sold out.
You're on a different website.
I am on a different website.
I'm on retromini.com.
So am I.
Why does yours look so different?
How do you spell retro mini?
It's LDK.
LDK.
LDK Landscape. That's what it's called. Yeah, this is what the website looks like. I don't know what the hell you're on.
I don't know.
LDK Landscape is the one that
I was on Retro Mini. You're on Retro Mimi.
Ah,
that's what it is.
Me, I did it.
Yes.
LDK Landscape is what a lot of people were saying. Is
okay.
It has a thumbstick,
interesting,
like a 3DS style thumbstick under the D-pad. I don't know. I don't feel like making a video on it, so I'm not gonna get it. But supposedly that doesn't have screen tear. For $40, I really don't think the screen tearing is that bad on the Pocket Go. Anyway, Allison, the sleepy transfer student, says, so now that Pokemon revealed some new gym leaders, have you decided on what version you're going to get? I still don't know whether I want it right away or will just ask for it for Christmas. Did you hear that?
That certain games are going to have certain gym leaders?
Yes, they're version exclusive gym leaders.
Yeah, I didn't go into detail on that. So
I kind of like the ghost Pokemon guy. I think it's Ghost. I kind of like that. Very, very goth. But I don't know. I still need more information. I need to know what Pokemon are going to be in what version before I decide which version I'm going to get.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to get Sword because Shield sounds dumb.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Player 2 says, so with the new Switch model, I'm not understanding cloud saves. If I, as a consumer, decided I wanted to buy the Switch Lite on top of the Switch OG, will I have to choose which system I want my saves on? Right now, if you did that, no, you still wouldn't have to do that.
Nobody really knows. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like when I got the Xbox One S, all my stuff just transferred over. Like all the games automatically saved to the cloud. I just download them again and all the saves are there. No questions asked. We don't know if that's going to work with this.
I'm going to need to borrow your Switch, Will.
Okay.
I need to do some tests here. Because I need to know how this works right now. Supposedly there's gonna be changes. It's gonna be different when the Switch Lite comes out. But right now, there's problems. If they release the Switch Lite tomorrow, it won't work correctly.
Yes.
If you want to have multiple consoles. So you're right to be confused. Gamerukos, we got to plow through these. It's been 2 weeks. Have you watched my Mega Man animation? Have you sent it to me ever?
Yeah, I don't remember this.
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm not watching it now. I'm doing a show.
I'm going to put it in my watch later.
Yeah.
And I'm going to watch it later.
Keep it in a new tab. Brandon FRFX says, Bob, I'm better in Smash than you and will never make a tier list again. What? Oh, I guess you should never make a list on... I guess he's talking about your video today.
Well, I would say that, but he said we'll never make a tier list again.
Oh, I think he deleted his tweet.
Oh.
He screwed up the first. He wrote will with a capital W.
Oh.
So let me read his new one. Bob, I'm better at Smash than you, and we'll never make a tier list again. And I've never made a tier list. And did you know Nintendo still said that the 3DS is not getting a predecessor? They said that the Nintendo Switch Lite is not the 3DS predecessor.
Predecessor means before.
We're talking to a 12-year-old. Clearly, we're talking to a 12-year-old.
You meant to say successor.
I think no, this was 57 minutes ago, so it can't be because I trashed on Little Mac.
Maybe.
No, it can't be because it was 57 minutes ago.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like you're probably right.
So next time I stream Smash, fight me and then shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Bro Jerome says, you mentioned the screen for this Pokemon Switch Lite image looking nice. Perhaps this could mean new themes to match your Switch colors.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it too.
It would be cool, but I doubt it.
I really, so many people would go nuts for Switch themes.
Oh yeah.
Which is why I think they should do it. But I don't need it in my life, you know?
Yeah.
Jordan, aka Super Saiyan 7, can y'all give a quick review and thoughts of FFH? Okay, thanks.
Far From Home.
Oh, we should have talked about it.
We should have. It's very good. I liked it a lot.
It's very good.
Yes.
I only fell in love with it in like the third act.
That was something. Same thing happened with me. Like it got better as the movie went on.
Yeah.
For like the first half an hour, like it didn't feel like a superhero movie. It just felt like a teens abroad. Which I guess goes with the whole theme of it being about kids doing kids things.
It was very like, I don't want to say corny, but it was like very like expected and like Marvel, you know, like I was like, all right, I get where this is going. But then
as it builds
like,
and builds,
the second half of the movie, maybe the third act, I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So it picked up.
Yeah. It's very good.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
I don't think it's better than Homecoming.
No, not
but it's still really good.
It
deserves to be up there with Spider-Man.
The post-credit scene, though, the first one at least, is probably the best post-credit scene in a long time.
He yelped.
I did.
At the second...
audibly...
that was the first one?
First one.
Yeah, he yelped, and his wife yelled at him.
Yeah. It was shocking, and I was very surprised that...
And no one else in the theater cared at all. Here's a mild spoiler that shouldn't be a spoiler. Mysterio, the bad guy.
Yeah.
Next to me on the right was like teenage girls.
Yeah.
And they were all in because freaking
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, hot dad Mysterio.
Hot dad Mysterio. I don't think they knew that Mysterio's a bad guy. So they were like, what's that? Is it? I can't believe it. So like when the reveal happened, they like freaked out. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
But everybody who's watching this should know that Mysterio.
I mean, I knew it was happening, but I felt the way that they revealed it and like the explanation for it was very
cool
well
because
done.
even though we knew that Mysterio is a bad guy, there's still the scene where you find out there's this big buildup of tension, but like Spider-Man has no idea the whole time. It's so good. That's where the movie got really good, right when that happened.
Yeah.
Anyway, Stupid Demon says Vanellish and Garbodor are in Sword and Shield. Get hecked. Wait, are they really?
I think they are.
Vanillish. Who's Vanillish?
One of the ice cream cones.
I thought Vanillux.
There's 3 ice cream cones. It's like they evolve.
Oh yeah. The new Pokemon they revealed is this cream thing that
I don't
farts out whipped cream.
I don't like that at all.
I think that there's some good designs here and there's some bad ones.
There's some very
How do we know Garbodor's in it?
I think they were like revealing like some of the Pokemon that are.
Why would they do that? I don't know. Anyway, all right, that's it for the hashtag Wulff Den Live. I'm going to last week's Wulff Den Live. Duncan Wood says, "Hey, Will,
that's me.
Do you have a specific recommendation for where to start reading Marvel comics in general? Should I just start reading whatever comics I like first? Should I start with earlier comics or modern comics?"
There's not really one place to start. Pick your favorite character or characters and just start reading like those books, and then work your way backwards. If you want one like introduction to the Marvel universe, check out Marvels by Kurt Busiek and Alex Ross. That's like a good introduction to Marvel as a whole, and like it's a nice look at the Marvel universe up to a certain point, but from an outsider's perspective.
Oh, we gotta do an unboxing.
Oh, I was wondering why you had the knife and there were boxes.
We
over
have
there.
boxes.
Okay,
but I mean they're not really that important.
All right, so we want to just finish last week's and then
let's
unbox. All right.
No, let's screw last week. Let's do the unboxing right now. First thing we have is from Eon that we're not going to open this time.
No, we're not.
We have this, which is from Hyperkin.
Oh.
This isn't a new thing. This is just something that I asked for.
Okay.
So, yeah. It should be... I don't want to say what it is yet. Ugh. It's going to be one of the cables that we were talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't remember which one I asked for. I'm pretty sure I asked for the Dreamcast one. But I also want the N64 one. I might buy it myself, though. Yeah, this is the Dreamcast.
Nice.
HD cable for Dreamcast, which I will have to try out.
Yes. Do they make PS2 ones?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, we're getting the M Classic.
Yes.
I had a phone call with our buddy Arabian
had a
Prince
phone call.
from NWA yesterday, who is for some reason involved with the M Classic. I'm gonna try this with the M Classic and see what happens.
Yeah,
because this will make the Dreamcast 480p.
Nice.
So I shove the M Classic into it, and that should make it 720p,
yes.
or just a cleaner 480p.
Yeah.
I don't really know how it works. We'll have to see.
Some voodoo science. That is cool.
Science. That's cool. Also, check this out. Well, there's an animal in here.
Oh boy!
They wrote live animal. I'd imagine that has to be some sort of problem.
Yeah.
With shipping.
Yeah.
You can't write live animal.
Yeah.
Unless there's a different word.
I mean, I think it's obvious because there's no holes on it.
There's fake holes.
Yeah, it's fake holes.
Anyway, this says Eagle Island on it.
Yes.
That's because this is from Screenwave, our management company.
Yes.
They're making a Switch game. It's called Eagle Island. It is very good. Even though I wouldn't say if it was bad, but I wouldn't say it was good if it was bad. It is actually a good game. It's coming out tomorrow.
Oh,
on
wow.
the Switch. Oh, this is awesome.
What is it? I want to say.
It's actually an eagle owl.
Oh, wow.
This is sick. Wait, is that it? That's all that's in here.
Greetings from Eagle Island. We got a postcard.
There's a lot of hay in here.
Greetings, adventurer. We hope you give your new companion a good home. On behalf of Screenwave Media Games and Pixel Nix, we'd like to offer you a complimentary Nintendo Switch digital code. Welcome to Eagle Island, and then it's the code.
Read the code out loud. No, don't do that. Good, because they emailed me a Steam code, and I was like, get out of here with that.
You're like,
So,
don't you know who I am? They must not know who I am.
good. I'm going to play this tonight.
Nice.
And, well, I played it at PAX.
Yes.
I think it's in our PAX video.
I
It
don't
should
know.
be, because it was good.
Yeah.
I liked it. It's like a pseudo roguelike.
Yeah.
That's cool, though.
Yeah.
I like that.
This is really nice.
I like that. All right. That's it for the unboxing.
Yeah.
Now I'm going back to the last week's.
Yes.
Harrison Johnson says, I'm glad someone is finally not crapping on Sword and Shield. I've been hearing nothing but negativity about the game since the Direct, and people are deciding these things before we've really seen the game. I'm hopeful, but I want to wait and see after the game comes out before I cast judgment. Well, I mean, it has Garbodor in it, so...
Yeah, so it's already like 2 points lower than I thought it would be.
Chris, I really got to learn how to say this guy's name.
Christoph Skalski.
Skalski. His name's Skalski.
Yeah.
It's so good to see level-headed, reasonable take on the whole Pokemon controversy. 75% of the internet seems to lose their crap over this. Thanks a lot, Wulff Bros. Your channel is great. Don't worry, we'll find another thing to crap.
Oh yeah,
love.
we don't worry. We get passionate about everything over here.
Senior Tequila Purr. So you're basically saying that Pokemon should never improve? Get effed. I like how Fred pulls from both sides of the spectrum.
That's why we have you do this, Fred.
We're saying in order for Pokemon to improve, they have to scale down
Yeah.
in some aspect.
Sometimes you got to go small before you can go big again.
You have to make some sacrifices.
Yeah.
Because if you just keep adding on and adding on and adding on, then it will never improve.
Yeah.
Because you got to fix the stuff that you made previously.
Yeah.
You know? Octavio Hernandez. When the Weeb Pokemon stuff, that's why I'm here. Oh, I guess we just...
Yeah.
That's a bad comment, Fred. Bad on you.
Yeah.
Because I guess we were taking too long to get to it. Fred says the other 99% of the comics are grr, we mad Pokemon fans. You brothers don't know anything. Grr, grr, grr. Thanks, Fred.
Yeah, it feels right.
Seems right. Everybody go to last week's
Yeah.
Wulff Den Live and start a flame war. Now we're finally in the actual chat here.
Yes.
We
also have some
Yeah, I'm trying to find where they start.
Carlos Rivera became a member. Paul Romano with $2. Do you think though they will make a hard shell cover? Well, we know third party.
They are. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a thing. Because
Yeah.
that's how we knew about the
Yeah.
Switch Mini.
I'm sure Nintendo will have their own thing.
I think they have hard shell cases for Joy-Con.
Yeah.
It'll be made by Hori or PDP.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be Nintendo
Nintendo
themselves. There's also Death Shooter. Did you read this? €5. Have you seen the news from the Pokemon? Like the new Pokemon and the new Phenomenon?
No. Oh, I heard about. Is there one step above Gigamaxing is Gigantamaxing?
Yeah, I think that's a little much.
Yeah.
But I almost called it Betamaxing. Dynamaxing is cooler than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
You're actually playing it. So I don't want to crap on Gigantamaxing just yet, but Dynamaxing is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. Pixelated with $5 says, did you talk about the Switch Lite? If I missed it, do you mind restarting your thoughts? Yes, I do mind. Scroll back because they're on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just go to the beginning of the podcast. Mega Dragon 101 with $2. Did you guys touch on the controversy in extra credit?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I want to say that before the stream started, somebody in the little chat, like before the stream starts, like way before the stream starts, there's a little chat. Somebody said, this racist is still making videos. And someone else was like, what happened? And he's like, long story short, Review Tech USA and the Big Cheese. Now, I looked that up, and that's something that happened in 2015 and has nothing to do with me.
Okay.
I don't know what the hell they're talking about. So, unless I said something racist about Review Tech USA and the Big Cheese.
No.
So what the hell happened with extra credit?
I have no idea.
You watch extra credits, don't you?
I haven't watched them in a while. It doesn't look like anything happened.
Mecha Dragon, you have a lot of explaining.
Yeah.
Smite PK with $2. Well, a guy next to me halfway through Far From Home asked his brother, who is this Stark guy? The movie opens with like a memorial with a bunch of people, and they don't really say anything about it.
Yeah, they just assume that these characters died in the last movie.
The first thing you see is a memorial, and it's like a crappy memorial.
Yeah, it's like high school kids put it together because they did.
It's pretty funny, but it's like it sets a weird tone for the beginning of the movie. All right. We're going to read a couple of actual chats in the chat, and then we're going to get the hell out of here. Mecha Dragon says, they basically made a video about how playing as a Nazi... Oh, I remember seeing something about this. Playing as a Nazi makes you a Nazi. No, I don't think it was that. I think it was that you're like... If you make a game where you're playing as the Nazi, you're like... It's the same thing that we've seen with like... It reminds me of this Fox News report that somebody made their high school in Counter-Strike.
Oh, yeah.
So they made... So people were playing Counter-Strike in their high school. And... you have the terrorists and the counter-terrorists.
Yeah.
So it looks like... So the way Fox News spun it was that the you're playing as a terrorist blowing up the school.
Yeah.
Which is
not
really
how the game works.
How that works.
Yeah.
So basically Extra Credits was saying that if you're playing as a Nazi, you're supporting Nazis.
Which it's not...
But they also made a video years ago saying the opposite.
Yeah.
So they're just... It sounds to me like they ran out of ideas and they're just trying to push a video out.
Game companies have, like, especially recently, have been trying to do, like, when there's a multiplayer World War II game, you don't play as the Nazis, you play as German soldiers. Mm-hmm. What other German soldiers were there in World War II?
Yes. Well, what games do you play as Nazis?
I mean, I'm sure, like...
There's multiplayer games where sometimes you get thrown on the opposite team.
Yeah.
But I don't know... I mean, there must be a game that they're specifically talking about.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I don't know any games where you're playing as a Nazi.
Yeah.
You know? Kool-Aid Kick says, do you think a dock like a Razer Core would be a good idea instead of a Switch Pro? I think it would be a good idea. I think that Nintendo would never do it.
Yeah.
I think that's too much technology for them. Too complicated. Mega Dragon also says, their community manager basically crapped on their fans, calling them bigots. Well,
that's bad.
That's accurate for people who would try to pull that argument.
Yeah.
All right, where am I? Josiah says, should I buy a regular Switch now, or do you think the Lite is going to be better? Where should I wait on it? Are you going to play docked ever?
Yes.
And if that's the case, get the Switch right now. $5 from R. Dilly. Thank you. No, thank you. Sean Q says, for the Nintendo Switch Lite, although it can't be docked, could a USB-C to HDMI dongle work? Most likely, no. And Nintendo will officially say no.
Yeah.
But we won't know until the thing comes out.
I would say wait for, like, the professional YouTubers to come out and do tests to see if you can do it.
Do we count?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Fred in the chat, what do you guys think about One Piece starting the Wano arc as a big celebration for the 20th anniversary of the anime?
I think that's a great idea. I think it's the right direction for the 20th anniversary. I mean, that seems to be the one everybody remembers from One Piece.
I think you need to relax. Maurice Charles, we need a more powerful Switch so EA would STFU make a complete Star Wars game and release on all platforms. I don't think the power of the Switch is the problem. I think EA is the problem. Yes, I think that Bethesda proved that anybody can make anybody can make any game a Switch game.
But yeah, and the fact that now we're getting The Witcher on the Switch. Granted, it's running at 540p, but
that's
still coming.
David says Bob is a racist. Really angrily commenting on indie Switch titles. How long did that take you to figure out that acronym?
That would have taken me a week to figure out how to make that.
$2 from Pixelated. For USB-C to HDMI, it needs a special protocol. That's true. I think he said that already before.
Yeah.
Yes, but if it's similar hardware, it should already have that protocol.
Yeah.
Well, no, yeah, it should. Yeah. The protocol is MyDP. That's the protocol that the Switch uses. Bailey Abrams says, to be completely honest, I think that they should bring Final Fantasy Star Universe 2 to the Switch.
I think that's the game they're bringing to Xbox. And that's like a big deal because it's been in Japan for like 100 years.
Are they is it a remaster?
It's an MMO.
Right.
But it's huge in Japan and like people have been trying to get it to come to America. And Sega's just like, nah.
Games Radar says the impossible has happened. Phantasy Star Online 2 is actually getting a Western release in 2020. After 7 long and painful years, Phantasy Star Online 2 is finally coming to the West. That's right. All right, but is it just...
No, it's coming to the Switch.
It is coming to the Switch.
Oh, it was released in April 2018, and it's going to be released outside of Asia for the first time on Xbox One and Windows in early 2020. So it's coming to the Xbox One first in the West.
But we don't know if it's coming to the Switch?
Correct.
Okay. I'd imagine it's coming to the Switch. Sues Phantasy Star Online is a Japan exclusive MMO. It's already on Switch in Japan, so it probably will over here. That explains that.
Yes. Marcos Baratelli. Unrelated, but to solve the voice party chat issue, Nintendo should transfer the online app to the Switch and then make a software update on the controller so that you can use USB-C to aux dongle. There's a lot of things Nintendo can do to solve the voice chat problem.
Yeah, just freaking put the voice chat on the console.
Yeah.
Well, I guess putting the app on there would solve that.
Yeah.
It's very easy. It's very easy to fix that problem.
Yeah.
Especially because this thing has freaking the third ring on the headphone jack. They're just stupid sometimes. Shane Smith says, so all actors that played Nazis in movies are Nazis in real life? According to the Wall Street Journal, yes.
Yeah.
Because the whole PewDiePie thing.
Rocker Productions with $5. What are the odds Breath of the Wild 2 will take place entirely underground? I don't think anybody was thinking that until he brought it up.
I think there'll be like a lot of caverns.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to take place entirely underground. I think if anything, like there'll be an overworld, but it won't be all sunshiny and nice like it is in Breath of the Wild.
I saw a fan animation where like Link, Zelda, and Ganon were like teaming up.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be really cool to have Ganon like as like a good guy. Not a good, like, like a Knuckles type character. That'd be really cool.
That'd be interesting.
All right, I'm reading one more.
Okay. Final Champion. How can I play Skylanders on Lite because there is no USB? What? I didn't know you were still playing Skylanders. I guess it needs a USB for the hub. You hit all the Skylanders.
It's NFC.
Right, but it still has a base.
The portal.
Yeah. That you have to hook up to USB.
Do you need the portal?
Yeah.
It doesn't work like an Amiibo?
No.
Oh, no, it's got the Switch.
Yeah.
No.
First of all, I didn't know Skylanders was on the Switch.
Yeah, it was one of the launch titles.
Oh, I didn't know
Get
that.
good, Will.
Sorry. New member, Tempest Renee. Thank you. Yeah, no, with Skylanders and Disney Infinity and Lego Dimensions, you needed the portals to transfer the toys over.
According to Engadget, Skylanders learns what Amiibo knew all along. Drop the portal. Nintendo Switch's NFC controllers forced Skylanders to grow up. The paradigm for Toys to Life games is well established. One part kid-friendly video game, one part exclusive collectible figurines, and a tethered NFC portal that ties them together. When Skylanders Spyro's Adventure introduced this model in 2011, it sparked a new genre in gaming, bringing about the rise. Okay. On the Nintendo Switch, however, the game that started it all is taking the Amiibo approach. If you buy Skylanders Imaginators on the Nintendo Switch, it won't come with the series' iconic Portal of Power peripheral. Instead, the game piggybacks off the NFC technology Nintendo built into the console controllers. Rather than placing characters on a wired base to transmit figurine data into the game, players merely need to tap the Skylanders toys against the thumbstick on the right hand Joy-Con.
Interesting.
That's it. No more setting up a USB peripheral every time you want to play. So there's your answer. What is the date? Oh, this was March 31st of 2017. So the game was already out. No.
The game came out in October 2016, and then it came out on the Switch March 3rd, 2017.
Yeah, that was when the
So it was
system launched.
Yeah, it was a launch title.
Wait, which Skylanders is that, though?
Imaginators.
But this was in March 31st, this article was.
They probably didn't review it until later because who cares about Skylanders?
Oh, no. Yeah, if you buy Skylanders Imagine, I thought it said when you buy.
Oh.
Like when you're... I thought they were talking future tense.
Oh, that was just your illiteracy getting the best of you.
Yes, exactly. I'm having a stroke still.
Yeah.
I've been having a stroke since I was born. So basically, if NFC works, Skylanders will be just fine. Also, why are you still playing Skylanders?
Pixelated $2, USB-C to USB OTG cable for Skylanders on Lite. I guess he's trying to help.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is the last one I'm reading. The Mail 518 says, "Hey, Wulff Den, the Switch Lite won't beat the Switch, right? The Switch Lite doesn't have the TV connection and docked function. Nintendo shouldn't have released another thing with the Switch." It's not a competition.
It's not.
I think it's filling a space that is important.
This is a system for people who just want a cheaper alternative and they're only going to play it one way.
Yeah.
This is for parents to give to their kids so they can play it in the backseat of the car and not annoy the parents. This is for the on-the-go millennial who doesn't have time to play a big-ass game on a TV and just wants something to play on the bus to their job at the startup where they serve avocado every morning.
Imagine this. Here's two scenarios I'm going to
Yes.
throw at you. One, you got two kids. One of them's like 5 and one of them's like 9.
Yeah.
And you have one TV in the house.
Yeah.
All right? You have your Switch on that one TV. Now you want to play games and you got your two kids. What if they want to play games? You buy them both a Switch Lite.
Yeah.
And that's problem solved. It's cheaper. It's only portable. They don't have to plug it into the TV. Scenario 2, you're either a college student or you have a studio apartment and you don't have a TV at all.
Yes.
Get a Switch Lite, problem solved. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for chatting with us as always. Wulff Den Live is every single Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on youtube.com/WulffDen. If you can't make the show for any reason at all, we always put it up as an archived version on Thursday for you to watch on demand whenever you want. If you prefer to listen to us rather than watch us, you can do that as well. We're also an audio podcast on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher. And if you listen to us on any of those platforms, please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review us because that helps us with placement on those respective stores.
Go to twitch.tv/WulffDen. I'll be there tomorrow streaming Mario Maker. I've been having a good time streaming Mario Maker. I love Mario Maker. Otherwise, I was thinking of making a video on the Switch Lite, but this is kind of that video.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm going to do it. I've done a lot, you know?
Yeah,
Give
for
me a
you
break.
people.
But thank you guys. I really do it for me. Let's be real here. Thank you guys for hanging out, though. And we'll all see you later. Have a good goodbye.
Fly.
Have a good bye.
That's because I threw the bird in.
I see what you're doing.